Good morning, everyone. We would like to warmly welcome you to our current webinar, Salesforce for Franchisors. And I hope you have a nice cup of coffee next to you and that you are eager to learn more about how you can grow your franchise with the help of digital tools. So my name is Nele Jachelius. I'm working with business development at Cloudity, and I'm currently sitting in Stockholm at our Stockholm office, working with business development in the Nordic region. And with me today, we also have my dear colleague, Justina. Do you want to say some words about you?
Yeah, hi. My name is Justina Jezierska. I'm sitting in Warsaw right now, and I work in digital advisory department of Cloudity. So it means that we work out digital transformation strategies for our clients, which we did also for a couple of franchise chain. And today, I'm happy to share with you my thoughts and my experience from the project of digitization within franchisee chains.
Yes. So thank you for the presentation, Justina. I just want to mention, as you may have noticed, you are all muted. This is to prevent the disturbing sound that may occur in the background, but we want to interact with you, so feel free to type questions whenever during the whole webinar. We will address them at the end in the Q&A session. And so let's briefly go through who we are shortly. Maybe you have Googled already, or you understood the relationship between us and Salesforce. But for you who hasn't done that yet, I will just say some words. So Cloudity is an IT company. We were founded 2014. That's 6 years now, and we have 3 offices in Europe. So we have 1 office located in Stockholm, 1 in Berlin, and the headquarters in Warsaw. So we are, Cloudity is a Salesforce Platinum partner, and the Platinum word stands basically for the highest rate, except the global, but we are getting there, and hopefully. And what does this mean to be a consulting partner to Salesforce? So it means that we are implementing all Salesforce solutions that can support different processes within your organization. And so far, we've done over 350 implementations in over 25 countries. And I just want to say some words about Salesforce as well. If we move slide here. So Salesforce is known as being the world's leading CRM, and it's the global leader on the market. And Salesforce changed the business world for many years by moving software to the cloud. And it's known for being highly adaptable and known for being the support that helps companies grow into more efficient and personal organizations. But a lot of vendors do that today and move the software to the cloud. So what makes Salesforce stand out? And I like to mention the ecosystem and the philosophy. So the ecosystem of Salesforce is also called the customer success platform. And what it means is that you want to have the customer in the center, in the middle, and you want to offer different kinds of applications like marketing, sales, service, and so on, to connect with each other and follow her journey, so that you get a 360-degree view of that customer. Of course, we are happy to tell you more about us and about Salesforce later on if you're interested. But I think that is the brief introduction, and let's start with the main part of the webinar. So let's move on to the agenda. First, we will talk about some typical challenges and pains that franchise companies like yours may face today. And secondly, we will move on to the goal of the Salesforce for Franchisor solution. We will talk about what it actually is, and we will explain to you in detail possible areas of digitization in a franchise chain. Then we will move on to the life cycle of a franchisee, and then we will present a live demo with some of a franchise management system. And at the very end, as I told you, we'll have the Q&A session. So feel free to type your questions during the whole webinar, and we will address them later on. Okay, so let's start. So we will show you a lot of nice stuff, and I would like to
Definitely.
start. I would like to start with presenting some people, some personas that we will watch and follow in the demo that Justina has prepared, and we will go
Yeah.
through some typical challenges and pains. So as we can see here, we have Justina, the recruiter. We have Lauren, the candidate, and we have Mark, the coordinator. Do you want to say some words about them?
Yeah, I mean, there are people that would normally we would normally have on board within our franchisee chains. So, Nelly, why don't you introduce our main actors for our webinar?
Sure. So Justina, as the recruiter, her goal is to be able to find the right kind of franchisees and onboard them in a good way, so that they are able to run their store good, so they are able to share the company's values, and so they get the best start possible. And then we have Lauren, who is firstly the candidate, but will turn into a franchisee. So Lauren is interested in becoming a franchisee. She wants to focus on running the store in the best way possible instead of going through a lot of different people. And then we will meet Mark, who's the coordinator, and Mark controls the business from the operational perspective, and he wants to be able to have this overview of each franchisee and each franchisor and make sure that customer satisfaction remains. So,
Yeah.
Justina, when it comes to franchise companies that want to digitize their business model, what are common challenges that companies face, and what might these roles have issues with?
Yeah, I mean, all of those people that are actually involved in running the franchisee chains or their franchisees themselves, in most of the cases that we actually worked with, they had some common challenges. So, I mean, for the recruiters, if you want to expand your chains and if you want to grow, you often do have problems to find the verified and loyal franchisors that would eventually become good franchisees, and then you need some automations. You need to have some support from technology in order to standardize the processes and in order to actually exclude the human errors. For example, while signing all of the documents and all of the agreements with your chain. Then we always have a franchisee or a candidate before they become franchisees in the middle. So we want to make sure that these people that we work with actually receive a lot of good support from the chain, and they do receive a good experience when it comes to communication, because often it is the case that the pain point is no efficient communication, mailings going back and forth, and no possibility to actually track who was communicated about which problem. And then last but not least, another example of a person that supports the franchisees in their daily work. So we named here someone called Mark, who would be a regional coordinator of a group of franchisees, for example, in one province or in one region. And this person takes care of franchisees, helping them, supporting them in their daily lives. So the problems often are that they need to use different tools to actually conduct their daily work. They need to contact their franchisees via email. They need to contact the chain via different tools, or they want to check the information about the stores that actually they take care of in the third another tool. So this is always the problem: the siloed system, communication, and standardization of the processes.
Yes. And that also brings us to the goal of today's webinar, of course. So we want to show you how the goal of today's webinar is to present an example of the life cycle of a franchisee and show how technology can support your business while working within the franchise model. So what is the most important thing thinking about the digitization of the franchise chain?
Yeah, so I mean, the most important, I think there are three the most important aspects that we observed while working with our clients on digitization in franchisee chains. For first of all, positive experience of a franchisee. Then, second of all, growth enabler platform. So technology need to enable growth for the entire brand. And then last but not least, we want to shrink the average costs per each store. So, I mean, going through those 3 points, the positive experience is about eliminating manual tasks because through the usage of intuitive portal, through automations, and as the result, the franchisee has a lot of time that he or she can save in order to actually run the store, in order to focus, to make the quality of their work as high as possible and to service their customers with the highest quality. And also the satisfaction of the work and kind of being the ambassador of the brand within their group of friends or within other potential franchisees. When it comes to the growth enabler, we need to integrate systems within one platform. So it gives us the possibility to have a 360 view on all of the most important information, such as store, such as franchisee, such as candidate. And having this 360 view and having this information in one place, we can go to processes automation. So we can not only automate the processes for the franchisee, but we can also automate them for the people taking care of candidates and franchisees. So having the same team size, we can actually service more and more candidates and more franchisees through standardized processes and through the automations. And when it comes to the average costs, we can use artificial intelligence or Internet of Things, but they are all based on cloud technologies. I mean, they need to be enabled through the newest infrastructure and through actually the point B that I just mentioned before. We need to, first of all, integrate the system. Systems have one concise infrastructure, and then we can, having the data, we can introduce more sophisticated models for automations and for saving your time and for actually artificial intelligence or other advanced technologies.
Yes, and as you managed briefly, or as we mentioned briefly before, when it comes to the cycle of a franchisee, can you maybe say some few more words about that?
Yeah, I mean, having this technology solutions that I just mentioned, we can address different points of contact or different steps that any franchisee, any candidate go through when it comes to communicating with the brand. So I will show here in a second a kind of a model franchisee life cycle. So from the very first moment where we contact this person and we start talking to someone, through all of the recruitment, when person becomes the franchisee, and then daily routine, and at the end through the audits, the quality checks. In order to show you kind of a base for our demo that I will be showing in a couple of minutes. Because I also, first of all, I will be talking about this story, but then I will show all of those steps in the demo. So starting with the marketing automation, because when we look for candidates, our platform, franchisee management system, offers marketing automation tools. Why are they so important? Because we can target good candidates via digital channels. So we can target people that with the highest probability would actually go positively through the recruitment process and become franchisees, become loyal franchisees. We can do it using personalizations or customer journeys. Then the recruitment starts. So people are already pre-qualified, people are interested in cooperation with our brand, and then the recruitment starts. So for the recruitment, we give our candidates access to a candidate portal in order to address the communication problem that I mentioned before. So candidates can log into this portal and they can automatically receive all of the notifications about the next steps of the process and about all of the new documents that need to be signed. And then legal department, the contact with legal department comes in place, because running the stores is always, and especially within the franchising model, is very often associated with signing a lot of documents and having a lot of allowances and having a lot of licenses for your store. So we need to make sure that all of those documents are put in one place, and that the candidates are enabled for digital signature in order to address the automation and to address the 360 view on the candidate problem. Then we can also score the risk of our potential franchisees, because especially in those hard models of franchisee chains where actually all of the assets and all of the stores belong to the chain, not to the franchisee themselves, we kind of give them our store and our assets in some kind of deposit. So we want to score how secure, how financially secure these people are, in order to make sure that we actually, our assets are also secure within their hands. And then when having all of this verification and recruitment steps already completed, then the candidate becomes a franchisee. And she, because in our case, our model franchisee is a she can start running her own store, and then she also receives the support she needs. So she can, within one portal, within one place, create cases in terms of failure, or Internet of Things can even create the case themselves. Because, for example, some unusual behavior of our assets was actually detected. Then the service company can be contacted directly through automations and through the integrations with the system of the service company. And then we can also talk about the daily communication, because running the store is not only being in the store and servicing your clients and looking after your inventory, is also about communication with the brand. So all of the franchisees, depending on their behavior, depending on their region, they can receive personalized information, personalized messages, announcements about the new promotions, about what's new in the brand, what they should be aware of while running their stores for. We can send out service in order to check how satisfied and how happy our franchisees are when it comes to the cooperation with the brand, or when it comes to running their own stores. Last but not least, we want to make sure that our franchisees run the stores with the highest quality, because we want to take care of our brand. So we can organize audits that are optimized when it comes to the distances between the stores, and when it comes to the utilization of our audit consultants. And then also within one application, the audit consultants can submit the results of all of the audits, and those results can be also calculated there.
Great. So it might, just a question before we move on to the demo part, it might sound like that we are talking about the franchise model right now as a general model. Are there different type of models within the franchise industry, or what kind of franchise companies are we addressing today?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, this is kind of a model, franchisee life cycle, and this is a very good question because this model can vary, of course, depending on the company, depending on the industry, and also depending on the franchisee model. So we observed three types of them. First of all, hard model. So this is actually the model life cycle that I will be presenting. So everything is aligned with the headquarter. So logo and every procedure and every aspect of the brand, they need to be standardized and they are regulated by the headquarter. They monitor the orders and everything is controlled out of the one back office, and everyone is actually aligned to use the same IT solutions. Second is the other way around, is a soft model. So this is more about having some kind of economies of scale from the same supply chain and from big amounts of orders from our suppliers. And this is some kind of a society that actually aligned together, and they are running their stores under one brand. And they just pay a part of the profit to the HQ. But HQ gives them a lot of freedom when it comes to running their own store. And there is also a third model, which is a mixed model. So it's the majority of the chains that we observed, where they actually combine the two. I mean, some parts of the cooperation with the franchises is taken from the hard model. So, for example, one IT solution, and some of the aspects are more freely aligned with the franchisees.
So if I understand it correctly, the solution that we will talk about today, it's highly customizable for all different kinds of models, right?
Exactly. So we just showing model solutions, but everything can be adjusted to the processes that you're having in your own stores.
All right. So let's move on to the demo part. I think it's a great example that you just showed us with the life cycle. But how do we start with finding the candidates that should become loyal and engaged franchisees?
We use marketing automation tools for that, and we want to maximize the probability of becoming a franchisee. So we target the best possible content through the best possible channels for them, for the target group, via our marketing automation tools. And here's an example of a customer journey. And in this case, we could call it franchisee journey or candidate journey, where we, based on the behavior of the franchisee along the journey, the content and the channels and the ways of communications are changing. So for example, if I receive an email and I don't open this email, I can receive a message or an SMS through after 3 days. Or if I open my email, then I can receive another email with the invitation for the recruitment process. And of course, every message that we send can be personalized. So people from the Stockholm can receive a nice picture of Stockholm in here, and people from another city can receive another message and another picture. Or there could be also personalization saying, "Hi Nelly, would you like to open a store in Stockholm? Because we think that you might be interested in, because we know that you want to open a new business." So then we move to the system, and then we will start with the onboarding part. So the recruitment team comes in place, and then they can look at each and every candidate and individually. So I will look at Lauren right now, and she's our franchisee from Ahana, and we would like to make sure that she goes through all of the steps of the onboarding process smoothly, and we make sure that we give her enough support. So then here we have a 360 view on Lauren. First of all of the steps of the process, starting with the verification of the candidate, then training, and after all of the training is completed, she will be invited for an exam. Then the legal department will start the signature of the documents, and in the end of the process, she can either become a franchisee or she can resign from the process. So,
now, Justina, now you're logged into Salesforce, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So now we can see it from perspective.
So can you see the screen with
Yes,
Salesforce?
yes. I just wanted to mention that this is like the Salesforce interface.
Yeah, okay, that is important information. And Salesforce, as we said, is a very much customizable platform. And here we saw kind of a customized view on Lauren, on a candidate. And starting with the process, first we can see that now she's being verified. But when we complete all of the steps, because every step of the process is associated with standard tasks, and those tasks can be assigned to various specialists at our back office. So when the verification specialists have already conducted all of the steps of verification, then a automation will be triggered. So see, now she is under candidate's verification, and automatically when it's completed, she will be moved to the trainings stage. And at the same time, she will receive a notification in her candidate's portal that she is already done, and she can start the trainings. So trainings can be divided into two parts. So there could be on-site trainings that they can sign up for using the candidates platform, but there can also be e-learning trainings. So those trainings can be also conducted via Salesforce using My Trailhead, which is the learn experience platform where you can use gamifications, points, and badges and make the learning experience very much enjoyable.
Awesome. So if as a candidate I manage to go through this learning path and pass the exam, can I already become a franchisee?
Not yet. I mean, the agreement part start, and also the platform enables you to introduce digital signature. So here you have the list of all of the documents that Lauren needs to sign, along with the templates from which those documents are created. And here you can generate the contract from a template and actually sign it and send it directly to the candidate. So this is actually a huge time saving, because actually with one click you can generate hundreds of documents because you have the templates and you have the personalized content within the documents.
That's great. So I imagine now that I would like to track the results of my work if I was a recruiter, and I would like to have this overview of all candidates that have become franchisees or have resigned and why they resigned. How to do that?
We can use reporting. So here is a homepage of myself as a recruiter, and here I have the information of the number of franchises that started the process. So this is the line chart. And then in the bar chart, you have the information how many candidates became franchisees eventually. So below, I have the resignation reason for all of the candidates that resigned last year. So here I can draw conclusions why the franchises resigned and how I can improve the process in the next year. So here I see that most of the franchises had communication problems. So I can see that my mailing communications need to be maybe clearer, or I need to improve the performance of the portal.
You've mentioned the portal now a couple of times. Maybe we could clarify a bit, what is the portal and how does it look like? What functionalities can we offer a candidate?
Yeah, so this was the view of myself as recruiter, and now I will change my view to the portal of a candidate. So now I will be showing the perspective of a candidate, and we built this portal using technology community. So this is a tool from Salesforce ecosystem that enables us to exchange the information with external parties. So we give them part of the system of our data we have. We put it in a nice package, in the nice layout, and nice and user-friendly layout, and we share it with our franchisees. We can build these portals with drag and drop methods, so without programming need of programming, the recruiters can actually develop this portal by themselves. And looking at our business effects of the system, this is a big economies of scale advantage, because you can send mass communication and automatic notifications for each candidate and each franchisee without even thinking about it. So going back to our onboarding process, I said that after the verification process was completed, that was about 5 minutes ago, Lauren received a notification. So with the information that she can already sign up for workshops. So she can go to the onboarding tab of our portal, and then she can see the same view as I saw as the recruiter. And she can go into the trainings tab, and she can sign up for the on-site trainings, or she can directly access the e-learning trainings from the My Trailhead platform that I mentioned before. She can also sign agreements from this panel. She can go into each agreement that has status Salesforce signature, and she can use her digital signature in order to do that. And then when she already becomes a franchisee, she can see the whole history of all of the agreements she already signed while being a a candidate.
Great. Great. So since I'm a franchisee now, can I start I probably can start run my own store. What should I be aware of when it comes to daily routine?
Yeah, so definitely for daily routines, Lauren will be using the portal, because we wanted to make it a one-stop place for each activities she needs to do. So from this place, she can see all of the cases that she has submitted, so all of the problems that she has submitted. She can submit a new case, or she can take a look at all of the stores that belong to her. And under the store, she has the information about the assets that are associated with this particular stores, with the history of the requirements, of the failures, and of all of the problems associated with the store. And at the end, she can see all of the service visits that happened there. Also, going back to the homepage of the portal, Lauren can take a look at the news. So you can share as the chain, you can show the most information, what recently happened, how many stores were open last month, who was the franchisee of the month, or what is the important information about the new promotions that everyone needs to implement. Also here, Lauren can ask the questions to the back office in the franchisee chain from the chatter panel, and she can also receive answers not only from the back office but also from the community, so from other franchisees, in order to minimize the time that the back office would spend on supporting the franchisees. And below here, Lauren can take a look at all of the categories of the knowledge base, and from here she can find the answers for the problems before even contacting anyone within the back office. For example, here I can look at the equipment categories, and let's say my refrigerator broke and I don't know what to do because I have a lot of dairy products inside, and I know that there could be a problem if it's not fixed as soon as possible. So under the equipment category, I'm looking for past discussions that were tagged with the refrigerators. I can't find anything here, so I move to the articles. And here I can see that there is an article about this refrigerator. And when I go into the article, I will find the possible causes of this failure, and I can decide whether this is also relevant for the situation I'm experiencing right now. So here, the picture of my refrigerator and the steps, but this is actually not the problem that I am not able to solve myself. So I can ask a question here directly from this panel to the people responsible for equipment in the back office, or I can submit a case because I need to track the history of solution of this problem. So in the new case sections, I have also various categories also to save my time and to be able to categorize cases quickly for the support agent. So I choose the failure because definitely it's a failure. And I put the subject, so refrigerator is not working. I put here the description. I'm looking for the store where it happened because as you saw, I have 3 stores. So then I look for the assets. So this is my refrigerator. Refrigerator is Samsung. And the agents and the service company will already receive the information that they need. They will be able to access the information on the store. They will be able to access the information on the assets and on the past failures that happened to this particular asset. So the failure is being submitted, and then I will be able to track the progress on this case. So when someone will see this case and will receive the timing, how long it should take, it's called SLA, to fix this problem, I'll be notified about that because the status would be changed to working. And when the service company would be already informed, I would also have this information here. And also, if I have questions about this case, I can ask it here directly, and I can track the history of the conversation about this case in this place.
Awesome. So you mentioned earlier that there are different channels through which you can communicate with the franchisor or the service provider. So which functionalities do you recommend when it comes to the communication with the entire franchise chain or with the selected franchisees?
Yeah, so I will move the perspective again because for past 10 minutes I was showing the perspective of the candidate and of the franchisee, how the way they would see the portal. But now I'm moving back to the back office, and now I will be a communication manager. So as you said, I would like to share some information, some announcement with a chosen group of franchisees. So I can do that via looking at the list of all of the franchisees I have in my database. I choose the proper list that I individualized for myself. So this is the list of the franchises in Germany, and I would like to send all of the emails. I'd like to send an email to all of the people from this list, and I choose all of them, and I can send the email. I can choose all of the contacts that are associated with this group. I can choose all of them, and then I can send the list email. For the sake of saving my time, I have a lot of templates already created, and I can choose a proper template for the new product from here, because what I want to inform my franchisees in Germany about is a new beer brand that they are supposed to introduce to their store, to the special shelf. So under you can look at the email that would be sent, and here you can see that the email is personalized. So everyone will receive their own name, and if there are different beer brands for different regions, everyone could receive another picture. So I sent the email to everyone in Germany. I hope they would read it, but if they don't, I can always introduce some algorithms for customer journeys I showed before, and I can kind of nurture the leads with other channels and through other content in order to make sure that they would receive this information eventually.
All right. So this is news about the offers in the regions, but how can I make sure that the product range is up to date in all stores with the discount or the special products that are well displayed? Because you mentioned, you can answer.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean by this question. It's always complicated when you sit so many kilometers apart, and even though we have such good technology of communication and remote work, it's always a challenge. Yeah, but going back to your question, we can organize audits. So this is a standardized planned schedule of visits that should be performed at each store. So here for the demo, we named 3 types of visits. So first of all, regular visit, regular audit that should happen every month at each store, and it should take around 60 minutes. Then quality check, it would be an ad hoc visit for in-depth check how well customers are serviced at the store, and it could be unexpected and it's not that regular. Or a site survey. So for example, always happening when a new announcement or when new information was sent to the franchisees, and we want to make sure that this has been implemented. So here's the list of all of the visits that should happen, distributed via stores. But second step is to optimize those visits and distribute those visits among audit consultants. So let's look at our optimization algorithm And those visits that I just showed, using our engine, are distributed, taking into account the distance between the stores, the availability of the consultants, and also how urgent those visits are and how we want to prioritize them. And every consultant has their own plan already. And let's suppose I'm Alan Reed, and I have already conducted first visit at AceMeet Partners, and now I'm going to the second visit. So here I'm going to the store. I know the address of the store because this is one tool, and all of the information about the stores is pulled from the 360 view of the store. I look at the visit that was planned for the store at Mr. John Allegri, and the visit is assigned different steps, and every step receives guidance for success. So I have very clear instructions what I should do at this store for this particular visit, and while it's completed, then I can put the results of my audit. I can score them using points, and then the calculated result will be put on the 360 view of the store. So let's take a look at the results of the stores of Lauren. And this is store number 365. And looking at the 360 view of Lauren, I will be seeing the past results of the audit, and I will also be seeing what audits are planned at this particular person. An interesting thing, the view on Lauren while she was a candidate will look a bit differently. The view on Lauren while she is already a franchisee, because other information is important while looking at a franchisee, and we'll be seeing the list of the stores and the list of the assets that are assigned to her. So this is the list of stores of Lauren, and looking at the stores, store 345, I can see the audits. So this is the history of audits. So looking at the results, we can calculate the averages, we can report on them, and also based on the result of the audit, we can personalize the communication, or we can make audits more frequent, or we can change the score or the probability of churn for this franchisee. So we can, having this data, we can do a lot of things. Okay, so this is the view on the stores. I mean, 365 view, which is very important while working with Salesforce, and which gives you a lot of benefits while working with a chain and while trying to expand your chains. And yeah, and the stores are in the center, right? Having this franchisee chain business model, and we can see the status of the store within one place. We can report them. So I think it's a huge simplification way of working with the whole group.
Yes, great. And I mean, we often get the question how and where to start, and potentially some of you are here listening or dialing in today are wondering, this is a lot to take in. How do we approach this kind of projects at Cloudity?
Yeah, so I just wanted to share a kind of I just wanted to present our approach for digitization. So here are some standard steps that we would make while working with our clients on digital advisory for the not only for the franchisee chains, but also while looking at any strategy project. So first of all, we perform an analysis. So we look at your processes, we look at the needs of your business model, we look at your franchises, at your clients, and we gather data. So having the imagination how you run your stores, we can identify what solutions from the Salesforce ecosystem should be chosen in order to address those pains. And together with the clients, or together with you, we choose the ones that should be prioritized, the ones that would bring the highest effects as quickly as possible. And the other pains that we defined, we put them on kind of a roadmap, and we say in which stages you should digitize your chain in order to receive the effects that I mentioned at the very beginning, the positive experience of a franchisee, growth enabler, and also decreasing the average costs of your chain. So having this roadmap, then we evaluate the solution. We tell you how much the implementation would cost, and we show you then how your system tailored to your needs would look like. So it could look a bit differently than the demo I showed today, because this is what you would show and what we would implement. It would be adjusted to the needs that you have your chain. And at the end, we show you the roadmap. So the first implementation and the other functionalities that lead to a total digitization of your chain and total growth enabler of your chain.
Great. So I think we got some questions. I think maybe we will have try to squeeze in a Q&A session and answer some of them. Are you ready for that, Justina?
Yeah, let's see what questions we have. Okay.
So we got one question here about integrations, I see. So hi, we use a lot of tools already. It's important for us to keep our core system. Is it possible to integrate, and how easy is that?
Yeah, I mean, Salesforce is one of the most integrable systems in the world, and it already has some pre-built APIs connections to a lot of popular systems, but we can also integrate us with actually any database you have there in place, and we actually do it for most of the projects we have. We integrate with at least one system, so it could be an ERP system. We integrate with web applications, with data warehouse management systems. So the end effect of the integration is to pull the data that is important for the full view of the franchisee, of the store, of other records that you need to see in one place. And this integration can be synchronized in real time or in batch updates. So everything depends on the needs, and it's based on the discovery meetings that we conduct. So yeah, it's definitely possible, and end effect should be your benefit, and having the systems that you need working and having up-to-date data all the time.
Yes, that's true. So the other question we got as well here is from a smaller restaurant chain, and they're writing without these specific roles that we showed today. Is this they have a smaller marketing team handling the communication and the recruitment? Is this solution too big?
Mm-hmm. No, it's definitely not too big. So Salesforce is a flexible and scalable solution. So not only, of course, huge companies do use Salesforce, and they are very happy about that, and it makes the life of their employees much easier. But also a lot of small businesses, and we also have implemented and we do implement this solution, and also small businesses, because it also enables those businesses to grow. So
for example, I
yeah,
think in Stockholm we have, or not in Stockholm, but in Sweden, and we have our smallest customer is one license. So that's one person who actually choose to implement Salesforce, so that he didn't have to hire that many people the first year. So that's pretty cool. So when it comes to if this solution is too big or too small, I think Salesforce often is positioned as this huge thing with the ecosystem, but it's very easy to scale up and scale down.
yeah.
All right. So I think we're looking at the time. I think that when it comes to the rest of the questions, we might follow up with you guys, asking those after this webinar, and answering them after. This, as said before, this was a very general take on the franchise model. And if you're interested in how this might look like within your organization, looking at your individual challenges and pains, we are happy to talk with you and to meet you and discuss that after this session. So, Justina, do you want to add something?
No, that's all from my side for now. So definitely, if you want to discuss your needs, if you want to discuss your business model and how technology can address your daily pains, feel free to reach out to us. We are happy to talk to you and to find the solutions for your needs.
Yes. And as said, I will follow up with you, but feel free to write to me. You have my contact details if you have any questions. So thank you very much for spending this hour today with us.
Thank you. Have a great rest of the day.
Yes. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.